This is a brief overview of the Wallace Foundation study investigating the links to improved student learning. Since the Wallace Foundation study was K-12, I also offer a brief overview of the Richardson study that studied a higher education population. Now, that study looked at educational leadership through the student's eyes and also compared student opinion of leadership to academic opinion on defining educational leadership. Student success today are the big buzzwords of the day. That seems to be the trending topic. So, how do we strategize in education to place us, the United States, as global competitors? In response to these concerns about our global positioning in the world, over the span of 5 years, the Wallace Foundation collected quantitative data to gauge the effect of school leadership on student achievement. So indeed, the findings verify that student achievement in K-12 is very much linked to school leadership. Furthermore, the study identifies principals as pivotal players. However, collective leadership, teachers, parents, the community, and district are beneficial in producing the most successful schools. Districts play a significant role in supporting principals and putting policies in place that encourage the participation of a range of stockholders. In an age of teacher accountability, scrutiny, if you will, that places nearly 100% ownership of student achievement on the shoulders of teachers, this study sort of tugs on the sleeves of all stakeholders and says to them that you influence student outcomes as well. It pretty much places a mirror up to all of the stakeholders and confirms that sustained and effective education is a function of collective and distributed leadership among all stakeholders. The relationships among students, parents, teachers, the community, the district, and the state are complex and truly dynamic. Teachers depend upon each other for growth. Parents influence the school environment. Principals motivate and support teachers. The district is there to support the principal and the teachers as well. And the state is there to lend support to the district. And there's just so much more in this building block of educational leadership. I would like to address some of the key findings of the study that demonstrates the interconnectedness of stakeholders in student success. The study is segmented into three parts. Part one focuses on school leadership, what school leaders do to increase student success. Here, the study's findings illustrate how collective leadership affects students and teachers. Student achievement is impacted by the influence that school leaders have on teacher motivation as well as working conditions. Now, when teachers and principals lead together, working relationships are stronger and student achievement increases. Principals and teacher interactions wherein the principals are considered sensitive to instructional climate, then the teachers apply research-based strategies in the classroom. Part two of the study focuses on school district leadership. Here, the study's findings illustrate how districts and leaders contribute to student learning. One way is rooted in how the districts employ family and community. A key finding indicates that when teachers perceive parental involvement, then students' achievement is higher. And honestly, that's very logical. It makes a lot of sense because when teachers feel supported in a partnership of educating children, student achievement is going to follow. Everybody's working together. Also, when districts aid principals in their self-efficacy, it affects not only school conditions, but student achievement. The same is accomplished when districts communicate a belief in teachers and principals in their ability to improve the quality of learning, which again is logical. If the leader is feeling confident, he leads confidently and sets that tone in the environment. Likewise, the findings report that rapid principal turnover has a negative impact on school culture and at times student achievement. Again, that would make sense because loss of a leader is loss of vision, and that would have a negative effect on student achievement. Part 3 of the study focuses on state level leadership, and the key findings in that section highlight state education agencies are devoting more time to creating partnerships. And some examples of that include the UNC Center for School Leadership that was established by legislature, and the Principal Executive Program that was established based on legislative task force recommendations. On the other side of the spectrum, we have the Richardson study that studied higher education. And their task was to define leadership for learning from the student viewpoint and to see how it compared to the academic viewpoint. Some key points in the higher education study in comparing students and academics on leadership showed that they were kind of matched, specifically in the areas of self-organization, empathizing, self-regulation, flexibility, and responsiveness. Also, students define teachers as leaders, and when they saw their teachers as leaders, it served as a strength in student learning. Students also defined leaders or effective teachers that were passionate, they were organized, they were knowledgeable, and they had to be accessible. Essentially, the implications of this study suggest that being an effective teacher that is student-centered and aligned with being student-centered in your teaching, it's kind of aligned with the adage of treat others how you want to be treated or perform as your favorite teacher performed. These are essentially the same messages in the Wallace study. We are all functions of each other in the educational environment.